We're in the midst of a spiritual war, my friends. It's a battle for your mind, your money, your sanity. It's a fight for your very soul. If you haven't noticed, or you're trying to ignore it, if you are not drawing on every ember of your eternal spirit in fighting this war, you may already be lost. Welcome to Spiritual War Part 1, my friends. Words give power to a concept. Now we shall speak of the word worth. Tell me, is there a measure of person's worth beyond dollars? It seems society has grown comfortable in reducing the most precious thing on earth, life, into worthless paper, and no one seems to notice. Consider how the courts determine the worth of a life in a wrongful death case. The math is cold. How productive, how valuable, how profitable was the person in question? They put less worth on the life of the unloved, the unknown, the unprofitable. The recently departed would surely place an immeasurable amount of worth upon their life. In this realm, one's life is worth more than the riches of any man, any king, any country, worth more than the entire world itself. Now look closer. Think about how an employer sets your wage. Are they paying the true worth of your life, or whatever ration keeps you coming back for more? Today, most employers say, in effect, I will consume every hour you've got, then give you barely just enough to survive. Because that's all you're worth. Really. Something sparked inside you and drew you here. Drew you to this message. A message you need to hear and carry forward. Stay with us, friends. There are many important revelations obscured in the shadows. Many more. Here at Pyre, we incinerate lies. Every illusion, every distraction, every half-truth told to keep us blind. Money. We expose it for what it is, where it came from, and most importantly, what it's doing to you. We light the pyre and burn it all down to ash until there is nothing left but truth. Cold, hard, and often repulsive. Today we speak of the underlying foundation often overlooked. The forces manifesting our suffering. The spiritual war that has been named, declared, challenge accepted. Now, we must give it proper recognition before any true progress can be made. In recent months, I have been deprived of not one but two of my wretched brothers. Never to see them again. Never to hear their voices. Never to feel their stillness in the storm again. Unshaken, unspoken, always there. I struggle to feel them now. I will see you again, brothers. I promise. But we have unfinished business here. This war claimed casualty of two of my brothers and countless others. Brutally, relentlessly, mercilessly. Some of us are already lost. Some still draw breath. Many trapped between those two worlds. I feel it every day in the exhausted cries, the tortured faces of the downtrodden, as they struggle to capture their worth. Worth bestowed upon them by God. They scour the cesspool they call modern media, desperate for answers, searching for even a glimmer of hope in the chaos.
All mainstream media sources appear to parrot the same message nearly word for word. I cannot confirm, but apparently they are being told what to report from a single source.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Apparently, their biggest fear is losing the power to control what you think.
The frequency of human emotional distress disclosures on digital platforms has demonstrated a statistically significant upward trend.
It's disturbing to see so much mental anguish among the young.
Here is a chart from 2010 to 2023 of the United States showing the correlation of normalized trends for depression and burnout, likely caused by economic stressors. This comparison highlights how both indicators have followed a rising trajectory over the past decade.
Overwhelmed, many choose to give up because the fight seems futile. But take heed, my friends, hear me now. Giving up is exactly what they want. Which brings me to the story of our most recent loss. He was a good man, worked like a machine, day in, day out, a man of sacrifice. He was very successful, but only in the most shallowest sense. Earthly wealth, nothing more. In the end, he chose to leave this world by his own hand. God, please, keep Luke. Now consider, if he hadn't been forced to work 60, 70 hours every week, he would have seen the beauty of this world. Maybe he'd had time to breathe. Maybe, just maybe, he would have decided to stay. Instead, he was swallowed by a darkness so deep it consumed even the brightest light that tried to break through. A blackness so cold it could eclipse one's very soul. A void so devouring it escapes words. The other, carved from the same spirit, condemned to live out most of his days inside the shell of a semi-truck, chasing scraps down the interstate just to survive. Disease took him. Not swiftly but slowly and painfully, a vibrant man devoured piece by piece until he became little more than a memory, a whisper from the past, a spirit at rest, body laid to waste in under 2 years. Would they have taken better care of themselves if they had more time? Even I don't know. But know this, the modern world never gave them a choice. Their worth to the machine was merely how well they could build up the kingdoms of their overlords. Kingdoms in which they will never partake. So speak not of alternative endings. The final line of their fate has already been inscribed, sealed and finalized. Their worth, tallied, taxed, then terminated. Stamped into a godless ledger as acceptable losses, souls sacrificed to the almighty dollar. Are you ready to rise up and fight yet?
Now see, my friends, and awaken. Money is just the smoke. The demons beneath the veil, they are the true enemy. In part 2, we shout their names aloud and with conviction, banishing them back to the infernal which they came, the flame they now fear. They bathed us in fire for so long we've become immune. The fire is now ours. We've built a pyre with it, carved their names into it. It's a flame that will burn high, hot, and long until every last one of us is freed. Burn until every etched name is nothing more than a stern warning. Never again. I cannot do this alone, friends. We must band together as warheads. There is strength in numbers. We amass to meet the challenge. Make no mistake, the time is now. In breath, we win this war. We lose nothing more, not one more soul. We have much to discuss. I await you here. The pyre cleanses all.